You're in a heated fight with your partner about something important. Your voice gets louder as you try to make your point. Then suddenly, without warning, the tears come. Your power vanishes. Your credibility dies. You feel like a kid having a meltdown instead of an adult making a valid point. Most people think crying during anger means you're weak or too emotional. That's completely wrong. Here's what science actually shows. Anger tears aren't about weakness. They're your untrained nervous system responding to a threat. The ancient Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago and created specific techniques to stop it. Want to know exactly why your brain does this? You're about to learn the real reason behind anger tears and the exact steps to regain control. No more losing arguments because of tears you can't stop. What actually happens when anger makes you cry? Here's what's really going on in your body when anger triggers tears. Your nervous system floods your blood with stress chemicals. Stress hormones surge through your system at levels meant for life or death situations. Your tear glands respond to this chemical flood by making tears. This isn't sadness. This is your body trying to handle overwhelming emotional intensity. Research shows anger activates the same body pathways as grief and frustration. When your brain sees a threat to something you care deeply about, it triggers the same response. Doesn't matter if that threat is physical danger or emotional dismissal. Studies reveal something crucial. People who cry during anger have heightened emotional sensitivity, not weakness. Your nervous system responds more to perceived unfairness or dismissal. That's actually an advantage when used right. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this exact thing in his journals. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He understood that tears come from being attached to outcomes you can't control. Here's the simple Stoic principle. The stronger your emotional response, the deeper your attachment to external validation or specific outcomes. When someone dismisses your opinion and you feel tears rising, you're not crying because they're wrong. You're crying because you've tied your sense of worth to their agreement. But here's where modern brain science backs up ancient wisdom. When you label an emotion as it happens, you reduce activity in your emotion centers by up to 50%. This creates space between what happens and how you respond. The tears stop when you stop treating every disagreement as a threat to your identity. Your partner's dismissal becomes information, not an attack. Your family member's criticism becomes data, not a judgment on your worth. Here's the pattern. Attachment creates weakness. Weakness triggers the threat response. The threat response floods your system with chemicals meant for physical danger. Those chemicals make tears, break the pattern at the source, reduce the attachment. That's executive presence applied to your personal life. You stay composed not by stuffing down emotions, but by understanding what drives them. But how do you actually do this in real time? Stoic technique. 1. The power of labeling it. Epictetus taught that we don't suffer from events themselves, but from our judgments about events. The labeling technique applies this directly to anger tears. The moment you feel anger rising, immediately label what's happening. I'm experiencing anger. Not I am angry. You're watching the emotion, not becoming it. This creates space between you and the feeling. You're the scientist studying the data, not the data itself. Research proves that labeling emotions reduces brain activity in emotion centers by up to 50%. The simple act of naming what you feel stops the chemical flood that leads to tears. Instead of, I am furious that they're not listening, say, I notice fury arising because I'm attached to being heard right now. Instead of, they're making me crazy, say, I'm experiencing frustration because I expected agreement. The labeling technique works because it turns on your thinking brain, the part responsible for executive function. When your thinking brain engages, it naturally controls the emotion centers. But here's the key. Practice this during low-pressure moments so it becomes automatic during fights. When your coffee order is wrong, label it. I notice irritation arising. When traffic slows, label it. I'm experiencing impatience because I'm attached to arriving on time. The goal isn't to suppress the anger. Suppression creates internal pressure that eventually explodes. The goal is to create space between what happens and how you respond. That space is where your power lives. In that space, you choose your response instead of reacting automatically. Here's your practice plan. For 1 week, label every emotion as it happens. Don't judge the emotion. Don't try to change it. Just observe and name it. I notice anxiety about this presentation. I'm experiencing excitement about this opportunity. I notice disappointment that they said no. After 1 week of consistent labeling, emotions lose their grip on you. They become weather patterns you observe, rather than storms that toss you around. When someone challenges you and anger rises, you'll automatically think, I notice anger arising because I'm attached to being right. The tears won't come because you're no longer drowning in the emotion. You're standing on the shore, watching it pass. That's the discipline of labeling. That's how Stoics stayed composed for 2,000 years. Stoic technique. 2. Training your nervous system. Seneca deliberately exposed himself to discomfort to build emotional toughness. He would sleep on hard floors, eat simple food, and wear rough clothing. Not as punishment, but as training. Modern research calls this stress practice. Controlled exposure to mild stress builds tolerance for major stress. When you train your nervous system to handle small discomforts, big conflicts don't overwhelm you. Here's how this applies to anger tears. Every time someone dismisses your opinion or challenges your position, your body treats it like an emergency. Your nervous system hasn't learned the difference between a wild animal attack and a disagreement about dinner plans. Training builds what Stoics called mastery over your automatic reactions. You teach your body that not every uncomfortable situation requires maximum response. Start with physical discomfort. Take cold showers for 60 seconds. Sit in an uncomfortable chair during phone calls. Skip a meal occasionally. Walk in light rain without rushing for cover. These aren't punishments. They're training exercises. You're teaching your nervous system that discomfort doesn't equal danger. Next, practice emotional discomfort. Let someone be wrong without correcting them. Allow awkward silence to exist without filling it. Accept criticism without defending yourself immediately. Watch what happens. Your body wants to react. Your mind wants to fix, explain, or escape. Instead, you sit with the discomfort. You observe it. You realize it won't kill you. After 2 weeks of this training, something shifts. When your partner dismisses your concern about money, your nervous system doesn't flood with emergency chemicals. When your friend interrupts your story, you don't feel the familiar surge of anger. The tears stop because your body no longer sees every challenge as a threat requiring maximum response. You've trained yourself to tell the difference between actual emergencies and everyday friction. Seneca wrote, "Set aside certain days during which you shall be content with the cheapest food, with rough dress, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition that I feared?' Apply this to emotional situations. Practice being misunderstood. Practice being ignored. Practice being wrong. Not because you enjoy these things, but because you're building tolerance for them. When you're comfortable being uncomfortable, nothing can shake you." Your partner's criticism becomes information, not an attack. Your family's dismissal becomes their opinion, not a judgment on your worth. That's nervous system training. That's how you build unshakable composure. The 90-second reset protocol. When anger hits and tears threaten, you have exactly 90 seconds before the chemical flood peaks. Here's your protocol. Step 1. Label the emotion immediately. I notice anger arising. Step 2. Take 3 deliberate breaths while mentally stepping back from the situation. You're not suppressing anything. You're creating space. Step 3. Ask the Stoic question. What would the wisest version of myself do right now? This protocol stops the body process that leads to tears. Use those 90 seconds wisely. The beauty of this system, it works in real time, whether it's a work meeting, family dinner, or relationship conflict. Your next move. Anger tears aren't weakness. They're your untrained nervous system responding to perceived threats. The Stoics gave us the tools: emotional labeling and discomfort training. Practice these techniques during calm moments so they're available during storms. Master your internal responses, and you master your external presence. Start with the labeling technique this week. Every time you feel anger rising, immediately say, I notice anger arising. Create that space between stimulus and response. Which technique are you going to try first? The labeling or the discomfort training? Drop a comment and let me know. Subscribe for more ancient wisdom that solves modern problems. Executive by day, Stoic Alwyn.